Welcome to the Reloading Podcast, sponsored. Well, what the hell? That was just a crikey show. Well, part of my problem here is I'm using, as you can see, the monitors for the podcast computer are silent currently because Apple decided I had to do an update, and I had to do it now. So instead, I used my Surface. So the camera was way up there, and I'm looking at the screen way down here, so all people can see is the top of my ugly head. So that's a little better. Now let's try that opening again. Hello, welcome to the Reloading Podcast here on the Firearms Radio Network, presented by Primary Arms. What were you going to say?
Happy birthday, Mike.
Thank you. Hey, Nick, did you win?
Not over yet.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Well, that takes all the fun out of laughing at him then. How about now?
You didn't go in there and drive up the price, did you?
What do you want?
Yeah, do it.
All right, we're winning right now.
You got something else. Says it's your birthday. Happy birthday. Come on, sing it.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday
to you.
Happy
birthday,
dear Mike.
Happy
birthday
To you. Especially made by Candy.
Yeah, Candy made that.
I didn't even have to make a crack about that. Thanks, Sharonda. Cheers, everyone.
Ginger ale.
Ollie, the official show dog, says hi. I don't know where Gracie, the other official show dog, is, but oh, here she comes. Gracie!
Yeah, the smoked
Gracie.
cake.
Come here, Gracie. Hi, Gracie.
Yeah, let go.
There's Gracie, the other official show dog. Okay. We got the official show dogs in the picture. Maybe. You know, it's supposed to give you permission to see that because I posted the link. I hate you, stupid. Okay, try it again, you guys. Squeaky, what's the problem? Come here, Squeaky.
Got it.
Yeah.
Come on, Squeaky. Hi, Squeaky. Gracie, also known as Squeaky, decided I needed some birthday kisses, I guess. And now she's trying to crime holler because Ollie was smelling her butt. Thanks, Ollie. Gracie, what the heck? Gracie, I got a podcast here.
Not instant, though.
You dork. Okay. Russ from Alaska will be happy about that. So we basically have a few questions. The first one, but first, what's everybody been up to?
Nick,
Can't
you gotta
hear
take
you.
it off on mute.
Camera now.
Nick.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Built a trash can smoker over the weekend
Ooh.
for an event we have coming up here in a couple weeks. Just figured might as well make something that looks more authentic in World War II period. So bought a metal trash can and decided to make a smoker out of it. Had its main voyage yesterday. We smoked some ribs.
Good.
Yeah, turned out good. Charcoal sucked, but
Yeah. Buy good charcoal. Don't buy cheap charcoal.
Always.
that,
Yeah.
yeah, and that turned out good.
Yeah, either get the lump stuff or Kingsford. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, we bought a cheap no-name brand stuff, and it didn't burn. It worked, but I mean, it would have been a lot better if we had better charcoal.
Sounds to me like we need to do a massive laugh at you guys for doing that.
I don't cook.
Y'all spend good money on parts, but
Dumbass.
not on charcoal.
I don't have much money into this thing. It's not an expensive project. It's not like I bought a $500 trash can, but it's just a cheap $20.
Yeah, but you can't take a modern smoker to a World War
No,
II.
that's the thing. That's the reason why, Bill. I can't take my modern pellet or even a burn barrel smoker. You have to kind of fit in the time period. Also got finished building.
Didn't they have 55? They had 55-gallon drums back then.
They did,
because they used to
but-
fill them full of gasoline.
yeah. You don't see much of those at the shows.
Yeah, but
Well, that's their fault, not yours.
The reason why we thought about this is there's guys that do the mess halls, and
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody's ever seen in World War II they had a multi wash system. So you had your washing system with soap, and then your rinse, and then your sanitize, and it's basically made out of 30-gallon trash can with your heater.
they got gas heaters in them.
So it's the same premise. I just instead of doing the water part, we made a smoker out of one.
Right.
So, but yeah, use that just standard corn, regular vegetable tin lids. Made my flappers on top of the lid. Riveted those on
Events, yeah.
for my vents. Yeah, other than that,
Yeah.
super easy project. So
Yeah, it holds
Lump
2
charcoal.
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
we
it
can
holds
hold.
what? Two briskets, or
I could probably get 2, if not maybe for sure 3 full pork butts on there. No
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a good 30-gallon size trash can. So
Yeah. But we can hold 250 degrees constant. no
yeah, we
problem.
didn't have a problem yesterday with that.
Excellent.
So for a good all day cook, because that's my plan is started early in the morning on that Friday, cook it all day Friday. And if I get done by 3:00, wrap it, a couple hours wrapped, pull it out, shred it, ready to
Let it
go.
rest.
That's
That's the
the only
hard
way
part
to
is
cook pork.
letting it rest.
Exactly. But
Put
that's
it-
the
it's
only way
like-
for a pork butt.
I know. It's like
Wrap it and put it in the cooler.
Yep.
Yep.
Butcher paper. You
Yeah.
wrap it in butcher paper, not tin
Yep.
foil.
Yep.
And
Tinfoil works, just not as nice.
yeah. And the other nice thing about, because they can make the butcher paper 18 and 24 inches wide, you can take it and put it on a picnic table and staple it down, and then just pull the pork right on top of the butcher
Mhm.
paper, and makes it easy for cleanup.
Yep. Yeah. Also built I had an extra bulletin board laying around. Built
I see that.
well, that's the original one. I had another one
Ah,
that I built a photo.
it's not built anymore.
No, it's built. No, it's not. It's a World War II bulletin board that would they'd put like daily activities, maps, things you would see on the front lines. So,
You built that?
yep, built it super easy. Just 2x3s, 1x4s.
Did you do just one, or did you make a couple?
I just made just one because you don't see them very often at shows, and trying to find an example of one on the internet is not easy. There's a guy that makes them, but he makes it a little bit different design, and then there's an original photo that's stateside that's permanently in place
They
compared
were
to
all
this
made
one.
in the field, so not
Yeah.
one was like one.
Yep. So,
It wasn't an issued item. so-
exactly.
Never two were alike. Whoever was in charge of the barracks or the company made their own, and
Yeah.
they're still around today.
Yeah.
So
But I thought it was kind of cool and put different reports on it and all sorts of other stuff, maps. And then, of course, we'll put like the schedule of events for the show. And other than that, that's about it for me. Did you do anything else? I don't think you did.
No. What do we? Oh, I got my scope mount in for my G43.
Nice.
Got it mounted, and looks pretty good. I got a picture of that. So they were playing show and tell.
You showed it last week.
Did I show that?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember you showed it.
Yeah, you showed
Well-
the scope and the mount.
Yeah, you showed it
yeah.
whole.
Yeah.
All right. Let me know if okay. Other than that, ain't been buying any guns or nothing.
No.
No.
Powder's our primer's kind of dried up a little bit.
Yeah.
That's about it. Saving money for. I got big reenactment coming up, so I'm saving money for the vendors at that show. So
Mhm. I didn't buy any guns this week.
Nick did pay me back some of the money he owed me.
Nice.
He bought. I needed a new Pushmore, and he bought me a new Pushmore.
Nice.
Ah.
So
You didn't get some labor out of him on that too for the interest?
He gets enough labor out of me.
Oh,
I just changed out the carburetor on my rider, so now it runs. So now I just got to get the right belt for it, and we'll be good to go with that.
yeah. So other than that, that's all we've been doing and working.
You want to go, Sharenda?
I just got back in town from being gone for almost a month, and I'm hiding out. I haven't announced that I'm home, so mum's the word. Don't post welcome home on social media for me. I'm still hiding out.
That'll cost you $25.
Don't I owe you $25? Let's
Yeah.
add that onto the tab.
Okay. Oh, and now that you're back from your gallivanting around, I'll ship those out this week.
Oh, awesome. I got sunburnt. It's not cool, and I had on plenty of sunblock regularly. In case anyone was wondering, yes, black people sunburn too.
I know
It
they
is
do.
not fun.
I used to get my boys crap about that when they get sunburned.
I did my
So.
barrel break-in process on the Creedmoor.
How'd that go?
Oh, it was. I'm assuming it went great. It went fun. Everybody in Arizona, my family in Arizona, all shot it, even though two of them really couldn't see because they just had LASIK. So that was interesting.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was. Oh God, it was hilarious. Especially when I heard, "Hey, come check this and see if it says safe," because I can't read the words. That was the highlight.
Thank you, dear.
Oh, that was hilarious. Back home and I'm getting reacclimated. I am a little jet lagged. That 2-3 hour time difference and working kind of wreaks a little bit of havoc on you. Oh, I did zero in my. So I think I zeroed in my scope. I was at an indoor range and it didn't go that far. I'm gonna go out to our conservation range. That's a little bit further out and play with it and see where I'm at. But now that I'm actually seeing it on paper, it makes sense now. A little bit more sense.
Okay.
What distance?
And I'm gonna mount an upgrade scope on my Bolt Action 243 that I use for whitetail since the season's coming up. Archery season starts, planning for that. Dove opening weekend starts, planning for that. It's my favorite time of the year.
It's the best time of the year.
It's upland and whitetail season and ducks. Ducks.
Ducks start in a couple of days here.
Yes.
Teal season, yeah.
Yes.
And dove season starts in a couple of days.
Yes, it's
And early
two sleeps.
Canada goose starts here.
Two sleeps.
Yep.
Bird season.
I tell you, there's nothing better than bacon wrapped dove breasts. I tell you.
That's right.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, there is.
I mean, anything wrapped in bacon is pretty.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Bacon wrap prime rib, baby.
But Dove fries very well. It's very tasty. Unfortunately, you need to eat about 65 of them for you to get full.
Well, that's why
Right.
the limits are 20 and 25 birds.
That's why I make Dove McNuggets.
Dove.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's
It's
about
like
it.
fishing for perch.
Yeah, it is. So, yep, now I'm back home. I'm just restructuring, reorganizing. Getting ready
Okay.
to go do more educational things in a stupid kind of way.
Huh?
Oh.
Explain yourself.
Oh, you come up with these harebrained ideas, and then you come up with the reasoning behind why you're getting ready to go do this harebrained idea, and then you share with people. Don't do what I do. Just let me do this stupid stuff. And
Oh,
learn.
so like not
Opportunity.
shooting slugs through a turkey choke?
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not gonna do anything that stupid.
No, you don't need to. Somebody else did.
Yeah.
I'll send you pictures.
Yeah. More like, hey, how many rounds can you shoot through the Creedmoor before it absolutely burns your hand? Touch it and be like, ow. Do it again. Just healthy American stupid stuff.
So
We definitely got to get you a bore scope then. Okay.
See, what
I
you're
just really
saying
need
is you're
get
trying to
one.
get in touch with your inner trailer park self.
Yeah,
Okay.
or that rough hood neck stuff. I don't know, whatever you want to call it.
Deep fried walleye cheeks. What the hell? Never tried that.
Yeah,
Deep
I've had
fried
walleye
walleye. What?
cheeks. Yep.
Interesting.
What the heck is that?
I'm guessing it'd
Walleye,
be like the cheeks
What?
off the walleye.
the cheeks on the walleye, where the jaw controls the jaws of
Okay,
the fish.
I'm
They're
just
very
making sure.
they're very strong, but you can take a knife and if on a bigger walleye, they're nuggets, and you can deep fry them, and they're good. So
I was just making sure this wasn't something like Rocky Mountain oysters, where the name is not what it appears to be.
Had yourself some Rocky Mountain oysters, huh?
Nope.
Good. They're not all they're
uh,
cracked up to be, especially when you have to get them.
I'm still amazed that there are such things as testicle fests. So yeah.
There are literally thousands of people in this country that castrate sheep every year by grabbing the testicle with their mouth.
Oh,
I will not be doing that dumb American stuff.
Vanessa said, "Don't eat scrapey either." Yeah, that's sheep brains.
Yeah, Chris, apparently they're not oysters.
No, he's from the Rockies. He should know that.
Scrapple's not bad. It's kind of like a spam.
What's that?
Scrapple's nasty.
Scrapple's not bad. You don't like spam, though.
Exactly. So I don't like scrapple.
No thanks. I'll pass.
Give me corned beef and hash. I'll
They
take that
are
all day.
meatballs. Okay, well, what's the meat though?
Vanessa says the better way to do castration is small rubber bands. No, actually, that is usually there's a spreader. The rubber band's like about the size of like say an orthodontic rubber band for your braces.
Mm-hmm.
There's a spreader you put it on. It spreads it open. You slide it over the scrot, let it go. Rubber band comes off, and just basically cuts off circulation, and eventually they just fall off.
Yep.
So
See, this is what happens when you're born in primitive times. You just come up with just random things to entertain yourself.
So, well, it's a heck of a lot better than the first way I mentioned of castrating sheep. So, there you go.
Definitely. Yep.
Yeah, no.
So I didn't do anything all week because I've been out of it. So,
Mm-hmm.
Mentally or physically?
Both.
Both.
I had I had to go to see the Roto-Rooter guy by delivery service, and so I'm up and about and walking still, and my name has not been in the obituary, so I'm doing good. So
Yep.
You know what's
So-
annoying about this top chat? There we go.
All right. We've got a few simple questions. Kevin Griggs wants to know, why is there unburnt powder in my barrel? Load that is a published load with correct primer. Powder is Buffalo and 5744. What? Anyway,
the powder is
guessing that was-
5744. That's the
Yeah.
powder.
Yep.
Okay, and he's got it, which is probably a handgun load, or
Yep.
And he's got unburned powder granules, which means that there's not enough back pressure to burn all the powder in
before the bullet moves.
before the bullet leaves the barrel.
Okay.
Good. You're gonna.
No.
Well, we're gonna kind of cover that in our upcoming.
Yeah, we got an upcoming video talking about Webley loads, but it's kind of along the same premise. So
Yeah. Yeah,
There you go.
bullets not engaging the rifling enough. You're not building enough pressure, and therefore we have unburned powder.
Uh-huh. What's the fastest way to tie up a revolver?
unburnt powder.
Yep.
That's right.
And
And
you'll see in the video.
You'll
we
see in the
had that
video.
issue.
I was having issues with my cocking hammer. It was fighting me. So
Mhm.
And
Yep.
it's amazing how few grains will do that.
Oh yeah,
It just
yeah.
it's crazy.
And get the carbon buildup in the front of the cylinder, and you can get basically some powder in the star area of the cylinder, and that's it. The gun is rocked up.
Yep.
Did he say in that question what bullet he was using?
or what caliber
No.
you're shooting.
Nope. Nope and nope.
But that'll even happen in automatics. So,
Yeah.
you just and you can follow up an automatic with unburned powder too, by going with too slow of a powder that won't burn completely in it. So, what else we got, Mike?
So we've got the one that let's see here. I think that's the one. No, that's not it. So stop it, you stupid phone. All right. From John Combs Jr., I'd like to have Paul discuss the factors that contributed to poor SD. I'm struggling a bit to get mine down to single digits. Lapua 6.5 SRP, small rifle primer brass. H4350 weighed to the 10th of a grain. Neck tension set with Redding die and 21st century expander mandrel. Brass annealed with flame annealing. In machine just till it starts to glow in a dark room. Savage Extra Precision. The only primer I found is CCI 41s. What would he recommend next? Primers set with RCBS hand primer till they are crushed a bit. Thanks, guys. I always enjoy the show.
So he's having problems getting in the single digits with 4350, and he's weighing to a 10th of a grain. So he's got a 10th going one way or the other. Okay.
Mhm.
So if he's say he's throwing 41 grains even, he could be 41.1 or 39.9. He's got to get his powder charges more in line.
Mhm.
He's got to get closer to the let's call it 2/100ths of a grain either way. So you need a better scale and a better way to measure your powder. That's number one. Number two, and I believe you're doing this, but get your sizing. Make sure you're sizing everything correctly, and having the same number of fired times when you're doing your estimates,
Mhm.
your actual shooting over the chronograph. So in other words, if your brass has been fired 4 times, all of it has to be fired 4 times, not some of it twice, not some of it 3 times, and so on. So it all has to match. I wouldn't go changing primers just yet. I
What
may
about case
play.
capacity?
He's telling me he's using Lapua brass, which is good. He should be fine as far as case capacity. with being flame annealed and sizing, as long as he's bumping it back, just the minimum, the 2000s. Primers, the 41s will work. If you can find some BRs or some Federal match primers, you could go with that, just to see. And they're in small rifle, but that's where I would work first with trying to get my powder charges more consistent than a tenth of grain either way. Big swings in when you start adding up 4 and 5 granules of powder one way and subtract 4 or 5 granules of powder going the other way.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if it's I mean, he could always just grab a tweezers and literally count individual kernels.
Yeah, he could. I mean, but is a specific gravity good enough for that to happen?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can tell the difference in between a tenth and either way on my scales. So
Right.
I try
what
to.
about switching to volume?
He could try switching the volume, but it's still going to be a harder way to get to where he's at. I don't know the type of powder measure he has or anything. If he wants to spend, $400 on a Harrell's powder measure, I mean, you might as well just go out and buy an FX 120i and be there with the scale. That's
And that goes to hundredths, right?
Yeah, the hundredths. Okay. A B&H, a Harrell's powder measure it makes it easier to reset each time and everything else. And then he's got to really develop his wrist as far as how he's filling it and making sure that it's very consistent, and you can feel if he's cutting any grains or not.
Yep.
So
the question is he getting good accuracy with it though, or is it just to try to get to lower his SD?
Well, the lower your SDs, the better accuracy you're going to have on the whole. Okay.
Right.
You can get some, and without really looking at his SDs that he has, I don't know what his ESs are. And
yeah, see, that's the other thing.
You can have almost a great SD, but you have a one bump ES. Let's say it throws an 80 feet per second flyer. Well, all of a sudden your SD is shot.
Yeah. So Nick, you want to explain what SD and ES stand for?
Standard deviation is SD and extreme spread. So extreme spread, if I'm not mistaken, kind of drawing a blank, is the distance from your lowest to your highest.
In feet per second.
In feet per second, yep. And your standard deviation is basically, is it median? No. It's all your shots added up and the average between them.
Right.
I can't think of what the actual math term for that is.
It's an average. It's an average, but
yeah.
An SD is measured as a bell curve.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where an average is measured in a straight line. So an SD is a bell curve as it works through. But the ES is the important part that people miss, because if you get one that's real fast or one that's real slow, it throws your all of it off, and you have to look to sit there and say, okay, if I could take that one off, where does that put my SD now? Okay, and then why did I have that? And like I say, if you sit down and you're throwing right on 40 grain, 40.0, 40.0, 40.0, and you're measuring to 200ths of a grain, then all of a sudden you throw a tenth of a grain more. I guarantee you will see an increase in velocity, and to get in the single digits, you can't have more than 20, 25 feet per second as an ES.
Hmm.
So
So Mark K wants to know: is there a better scale than a Charge Master, but costs less than the FX 2000?
you can get scale wise, now not a powder drop, okay, but a scale wise, you can get you go to A&D and EJ123, and they make a couple other ones that'll measure to 200ths of a grain without a problem. In fact, they make one that'll measure to a thousandths of a grain
Oh, good
if you
grief!
want to go that far, and you'll be in the $400 range for just a scale. Okay, you
That's not bad
jump
then.
up. No, but you jump up to an FX 120i, and you can find them for $550 out there.
Then it makes more sense
So
to spend the extra 150 and get the
right,
powder dispenser scale all in one shot.
right, because you can add on the super trickler or the there's a number of them that are coming out now that are going to do that the to automatically measure out the powder for you, and to keep it within that 200ths of a grain.
So Brian Marks was talking about velocity nodes. He's talking about Scott Satterley has some great video getting to single digit SDES on his channel. It's all about finding a velocity node. If you're in the middle of a node, a tenth of a grain up or down won't matter. Well, if he's in the node and he is having the issues, then it could. So
Scott Satterley is also shooting a custom rifle, guys.
yeah.
Okay, I mean, the hard part a lot of people don't understand is that, okay, I shoot a a customized rifle, okay,
Right.
and I buy very good barrels, and I buy very heavy barrels. All right, so they don't move a lot. All right, they just, I mean, there's not a lot of move to them. But you take a sporter barrel on a factory gun that isn't supported well, doesn't have a lot of backbone to it. The stock and the action aren't very well done up, and you're going to have issues. Um, so you know, it's all a system, and we're sitting there trying to make the whole system work. I'm not saying you have to have, but you got more hunting to do working a load to make it work with a factory gun than you do with a more of especially a high end custom gun. Jordan Rangan, you're sitting there saying that it's 560 for Canadian for the EJ123, and the FX 120 is 950 Canadian. I'm not sure where I was at with it, but I not sure. I think you can find a better deal for them out there.
Yeah. So, all right. Next question. So, Rob for Hunt Shoot Off Road sent us an email. So they went out on a pig hunt, and pigs in Australia are even worse than pigs here as a pest. There literally is no problem with them shooting them and leaving the carcasses. So, but they were out in QLD, which is one of the provinces. So he said he took 3 rifles: Tikka T3 308, Remington 7600, and 35 Whelen, and a 30-06. 30-06 with Magpul furniture. Yuck, coming straight off. Terrible for hunting. T3 was trimmed barrel to 16 inches and fluted with Lucky 13 10-shot mag. Gun ran like a dream. No noticeable loss of power for the shortened barrel, running 168 grain VMAX. With Varget, their version of Varget, mixed cases, and CCI primers. Projectiles are as long as possible to clear the mag, as you can see in. I've got ballistic. So I've got a. Let's see if I can bring the picture up. All right, so share screen. All right, so if you look on this, you can see a couple of these tips are pretty schmucked.
Yeah.
So the problem with, I mean, honestly, it's a simple solution, but it's not if he's found an accuracy.
How to keep the bullets from tips from getting smushed, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shorten your seating depth, or
No,
shorten your case.
he's fine if he's having problems, and that's because mostly likely because it's rattling around, because some of them are still pretty good.
Yeah.
Put some foam in the case.
You agree?
Oh, foam in the. Well,
In the
that's
top lid.
Those were in the mag. Those were in the
Right.
magazine,
Okay.
and they got done like that while they were in the magazine. Let me clarify that.
Mhm.
So if you quickly add a few rounds back into the mag on the top, the lower ones end up destroyed. Is there a way to prevent this from happening?
Empty the mag.
So he says, said he had some groping issues because
Yeah.
of that.
Well, you remember the whole story behind the original AMAX and everything else, where they found out that the bullets were losing their integrity on the tips because of heat friction. So, and they were melting the tips and lowering their BC. And then they went through a whole formula change to redo their tips so they wouldn't melt, and have even come up with aluminum tips to keep their bullets from losing their BC.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, it's just a case of it's a case of he's seating him as long as possible to fit him in the mag, so there isn't any vibration room. So every
right,
time he pulls the trigger, and you have recoil, it's slamming that into the front of the magazine. So I mean, the two
and
options: figure out a way to put some sort of foam in there to keep it from slamming into that, and then you're going to have to replace it often, or change your seating depth.
Or use the use the bullets, and don't bother reloading it until until you run out in the mag. So
Well, I mean,
you're still
even
gonna
then, he's still having the issues.
right.
So
Um,
I guess the other thing, I mean, you're pig hunting, so you want to have as many shots as possible. So I understand the point of having the 10-round mags
mm-hmm.
and topping it off.
Do I
But
understand
yeah,
you correctly? The bullets in the mag under recoil
Yes.
are slamming forward and disforming that tip?
Yep.
Yeah. That's been known to happen, even especially on
Really?
dangerous game rifles. Okay.
Mhm.
They, with the amount of recoil that they generate, that they will smash points off of 375 H&H. They will smash the point off of
Wow.
it sitting in the mag. Close up hollow points. Soft points get a big dent, and full metal jackets can be forced back into the case and
Mhm.
cause feeding and pressure issues. So yeah, it's all but
So this is just a mag out of a rifle I got sitting there. It's a 22 mag, 22 Win mag. But basically, what's happening is the recoil isn't being absorbed by the gun, and so as it fires, the recoil shoves the whole thing back. Well, the cartridges aren't locked in place in the magazine because there's no locking mechanism. So the cartridges move, and that's what's happening. So
you got to
basically, the
remember
cartridges are stopping at a different rate from the rest of the magazine,
they're
and the
starting
magazine
at a different rate than, because the
Mm.
gun is moving and they're staying put, and
for
because of
half a second longer or
their
whatever.
mass,
Yeah, I've
their
ne-
mass is keeping them in place as you pull the trigger and the
Yep.
gun comes back.
I've never experienced that. I'll be darned.
You probably aren't seating them at maximum length either.
No.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got it set at basically, he's got them loaded long enough that they should be single loaded the way they are.
Yeah.
I had this with my Tika T3 when I was making up my loads, and I was trying to adjust seating depth. I was using 155 grain Molly coated AMAX. Oh, and Craig NMZ, that's AMAX, Hornaday AMAX. So, but what was happening is because I had them seated so long that there was no deceleration room. So the magazine acts as the decelerator. Normally in a normal magazine, and I don't have a magazine that I can show off right now, but next time you load an actual especially like a detachable box magazine, notice with your factory ammo or your factory seating depth ammo, notice how much space there is between that bullet tip and the front side of that magazine. There's usually a considerable amount of space. And so that's what's happening. Uh, 38 Super Q said he's got the same issue with his 300 Win mag and 180 grain partitions. But what he's doing is he's just super crimping so it won't shove it in deeper.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Paul explained it better than I did. So yeah, I mean, I don't think, knowing what I know from 308.65 magazines on Tikas, and even the 10 rounders aren't any longer on the depth availability. He's going to have to change that seating depth, because I don't think trying to put a foam in there is going to be practical, because now your feed
No, it's
ramp's not
not.
going to move.
Yeah.
Now your feed ramp's not going to move up and down like it should.
And if
So
he's loading at maximum length, and that what do you have to work with? I mean, you can't put in a piece of
yeah, I mean you're
uh,
not going to have
right a soft uh, surface that will allow the bullets from not digging into the material under
yeah
recoil as this would. I thought it was just the box he was looking in and looked at it, and he's having that problem.
no.
I could throw every box that you guys get, that like those MTM boxes.
Yeah.
Get a piece of foam and put a piece of foam in the top of it, so you're not dinging up the points of the
Yep.
bullet.
So
So
I don't know enough about muzzle brakes and how they affect recoil to know if it would make a difference. Spudman76 says, could a weak mag spring cause that also? It's a far stretch, but yes, but you're going to have feeding issues long before you'd have that.
mm-hmm.
Because your mag springs aren't designed to lock your cartridges in place. They're just designed that once there's a release of pressure to push up. I mean, you could try a stronger mag spring, but the problem you're going to run into is then it's going to shoot the cartridges out the top of the feed lips. By the time you get a mag spring strong enough to actually hold the cartridges in place. It's a nice thought, though.
And could a different design in the magazine work?
I've got a possible idea. I don't think he wants to do it. To try, cut the front of the magazine out.
Well, that would not work, but we're good. What I'm
Well, no, I'm
saying
just
is,
saying if he
yeah.
cuts just a small slit so the tips aren't slamming into the magazine.
Mm-hmm.
But then
It
he's going to
could
run
be.
into the problem of it still trying to seat the bullet deeper.
Yeah.
So,
But if he went from from the teak as a double stack mag, one on one side, one on the other as it go through, if you changed it to a single stack, then you could manufacture the magazine to have a shoulder to hold the case back from letting it come forward to be moved that
mm-hmm.
way.
And then he could just cut the follower so it slides up it.
Mm-hmm.
Tika, do they use a proprietary mag?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
But there's a couple of aftermarket companies that make larger capacity mags, and that's what he's got.
It's still proprietary to that rifle only. It's not like an AI mag.
No, it's not.
So.
Yeah, I just didn't know if trying a different type of mag would help. But...
Mm-hmm. Not much we can really do for him. It's
yeah. I kind of like the idea of modifying the mag to create a shoulder block.
Mm-hmm. So that's about the best I could do.
Yeah, if the magazine, if the body comes apart, that'd make it even easier.
Well,
because
the
then you could
bottoms
literally
usually
just
come
pop it
out.
open.
The bottoms come out. You could sit down and pull it, modify the follower, and then put in a bar or something to hold the shoulders back, and see what happens. 2 bars and modify the follower.
I think those mags he's got are actually, I think they are a single stack. I think those 10 rounders are a single stack, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'll have to look. I don't remember off the top of my head. What is it he's got? One lucky 13. Okay. I know when I had mine, you couldn't get the Lucky 13 mags here in the States. Jorgen said, I guess we missed the obvious solution. Buy a new rifle. Well, that's what he's kind of talking about doing. So. All right. Good night, Andy. So. Yeah, these are a single stack. So. Yeah. Yeah, they're a single stack, so he could definitely do that shoulder. I don't know how easy it would be, but oh my gosh. All right, Gag. It is 51 minutes into the show. You got to check out the video and see what Fuzz248 put in the chat. Hilarious. I'll actually put it up on the screen so it shows up easier. I'm not reading it though. You got to go to the video and see it. All right, Mark K. Are small primer 45 ACP brass just as good as the large primer type?
Sure. Sure.
I don't know.
It's just a pain in the sort. That's all.
Yeah, I don't know. I've not personally tested, so I can't say. I would think that given the large primer gives you more. What's the technical term, Paul?
Brilliance.
Yeah. That it would be better, but I don't know.
Small primers, can have just as much brilliance as a large one. It's. I mean, you got flash holes to deal with. You got all kinds of other things that go involved into it. The reason they made the small primer pocket was because the practice ammunition for
it's Winchester's fault,
right? To be non-toxic. Okay.
Yep.
So the only manufacturer of non-toxic primers was Winchester, and they came out with the
Wind clean ammunition.
Yes.
Which was supposed to be better for shooting in indoor ranges.
Yep.
Keyword supposed to. Anyway. Setting up a chronograph.
Boy. Okay.
An actual chronny.
An actual light start and stop chronograph. Okay.
Like say F1 or Caldwell.
Mm-hmm.
Not an
You may go grab mine, Mike. Mine's in the other room or downstairs.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So he's going to go grab his. I am trying to get back to the post that's got more questions, but ooh. Somebody's getting into loading 6.5 Carcano.
Okay.
268 diameter bullets.
Yep.
Right, 6.5 Carcano 268 bullet. That's what I thought.
Mil spec is, yes.
But he's slugged the barrel and get serious about it.
Yep.
So
that's like I sent a comment on that. I was waiting for him to come back to me, but
okay. Yeah. Thomas Belts wants to know show her a segment on how to properly use a chronograph. His first one arrives in a few days and would be love some help and the best way to set up and use. So
First one is, and this is general for all chronographs, buy a good tripod.
yep. Not a cheap $20 Amazon one. Spend actually some decent money and get a good one if it doesn't come with one.
Right.
Now, Caldwell has a package where it comes with a tripod. Tripod's actually pretty stable, all things considered. It's probably not the best. I would probably buy a better one, but I have a Labrador and a magneto speed, so I don't really need to. The only reason I use a Caldwell is comparison. So, by the way, thank you, Drew, for those blessings. So, Nick's got his. He's working on putting together. Nick, I'm going to put you on the big screen so you can kind of see what you're doing there.
So, of course, it's going to come with 4 metal rods and then 2 sun shields or diffusers.
Sky screens, depending on what company.
Yep. Sometimes you'll need them, sometimes you don't. It all depends on your lighting and everything.
I would typically get in the habit of installing them. So.
Yep, and that's the habit. It's most time I do it, and this one does pretty good. I've never really had any issues. I usually get pretty good readings with this chronograph.
Yeah. Which one is that?
It's the Pro Chrono DLX.
Okay.
So that's the one. It Bluetooths with the app to my phone.
Nice.
So actually, I just had that opened. So, and I already got some loads developed, and so once it turns on, I'll turn it on real quick. Maybe.
Showing 2441, showing your last shot.
Is it on?
Yeah, it's on.
Okay, so it's connected to my Chrony. So, and then once you shoot a shot, it will audibly read out to my phone, and then I can create spreadsheets, line graphs, bar graphs, all sorts of different things. And I print those out and I keep records of all mine.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
When you're at home reloading your ammo, you can set files up. Say it's a 308. It's I'm using 150 grain AMAX. You're using 42 and a half grains of 4895. You can plug all that in. Then you go out and do your 10, 15 shot round. It plots all this. I say it's nice.
And for the money, this doesn't cost a lot either. This is $130, 140.
And if you shoot it, you get
50% money towards your new one.
New one.
So, but yeah, nice, easy enough. Another thing common people want to say is you want to shoot as close to light beam as you can. I give myself a good 8 inches. I kind of can see on this one, there's some lines here. I have good enough eyes I can see those, and I try to be around that area.
Yeah.
Centered up.
Take a 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper.
Yep.
Put it up there. Tape it. Okay. Put one on the back.
Yep.
Tape it. And what I'm telling you now is that if you carefully line everything up, and because it has to be straight to get your best reading, okay? It has to, the bullet can't go through. If you twisted that to the side,
yeah,
and the bullet went across it, it stretches out the distance, and you're getting, a false reading. So you have to have it straight. So if you can put a laser up there, measure, and get it straight with the laser, and then you can make sure you take the laser out of the barrel of the gun, please, because that's a normal mistake that people have made.
Yeah. We do something a little different. It's not the best thing to do. It's kind of just something we're safe around each other. It's usually him and I are doing it together. Of course, we'll pull the bolt out of the gun because most of the time it's a bolt action, or semi. We can pull the AR bolt out, and I'll be down standing next to the chronograph, and he'll look down the sights and he'll line us up. It's just something. It's not the best thing to do, but we feel safe around each other. We've felt safe around since we were shooting together for 20 plus years, so we feel safe. So we can line everything up. And
big thing with
said, Paul, if you're by yourself,
big thing with if you're sighting in a scope and you're going to do this, you got to remember sight over bore.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of times
that's why bore sighting it through the barrel is good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
And that's why I say using a laser, because it is basically a bore sight.
Yep.
You can set it up that way. I agree with you guys. You know, if it's just the two of you out there and you're setting up and you can do that, more power to you.
Mhm.
Okay. But if you're at a public range or anything like that, you're going to have difficulty.
Absolutely.
So, I like the Bluetooth. The Bluetooth is nice because you can get the unit far enough away so you don't have muzzle blast issues. A lot of them are limited by the cords they have.
And that's the reason why I went with this one is I didn't want the cords to go out there. And I did my research before I bought this one. You had bought me, I think, the Coldwell for Christmas. I had done some research. I didn't care for it. And seeing this one was only, I think, $20, $25 more. Being that it was Bluetooth, no cords needed. It runs off a standard 9-volt battery.
Illinois-based company.
Illinois-based company, which I think is kind of nice. I kind of support local or normally. And then the big one was if you do shoot it, you get that additional. I'm gonna double check on what that was.
I thought it was 50%.
I did too. Let's see.
Yeah, the original Caldwell is just a cord with the 3.5 mic jack, like your headphone jack.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a newer phone, forget it. It doesn't have a headphone jack.
Right there.
But the Gen 2 is Bluetooth.
Right.
Yeah, and here's what they say. On Competition Electronics, we will not charge more than half the current retail price to repair any current model shot timer. Well, that's the same thing. Without we manufacture regardless of its condition. So that's pretty good warranty right there.
Yeah. As far as tripods, we went to the local
pawn shop.
And we went to the local pawn shop, and somebody had pawned in an old, really nice photographer's tripod, heavy duty, all aluminum. I mean, it wasn't the cheap plastic ones you find.
I paid $30, but you're going to pay that for a good quality tripod.
Oh, you're going to pay more than that.
You're and this,
$100.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And this has seen some use, but it
50,
does the
80,
job.
100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this thing right now on Midway right now is $138.
Yeah.
For a Bluetooth tripod, and I have all my files saved here on a folder, all my PDFs with I take a photo of my reloading card with a round next to it, and I know exactly what it is.
You can upload that JPEG into the file. It's nice.
It's nice.
Mm-hmm.
But there's others, Crony brand.
There's all sorts of different ones. So,
and then there's the top of the line, which is the Yoler. So, but you pay for it, but it's worth.
You pay for it, but you got to remember you're running 3 screens instead of 2.
Right.
And it comes with the tripods for it. That's part of the package.
Yep.
So it comes with a case to put it all in.
Yep.
And the third screen is the check one, because that way it runs a check basically for it. So itself.
I heard this on Lab Radar, and I don't know if this is true. If you're shooting, say you're shooting 223, and a guy in the bench next to you is shooting 223, do you have the issue with it picking up the guy next to you's rounds?
It can.
Okay. That'd be the only fault I would see with the Lab Radar.
It can, it can. It's supposed to be a certain distance from the muzzle for a Lab Radar for it to pick up the sound to activate the trigger on it.
Yep.
So,
is it sound or is it off concussion wave?
No, it works off of sound. It
sound,
picks
okay.
Sound and radio waves and
because
go ahead.
Because like for a pellet gun or suppressed or like archery, you have to have a separate trigger for it.
Okay.
So.
And yours will handle air rifle and archery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the advantage of a traditional chronograph, is it's not reliant on the sound.
Right.
So the drawback to the magneto speed, doesn't work very well with handguns because you got to try and figure out who to redneck engineer a mount.
And that's
So
kind of why I didn't go with the magneto speed, because I shoot a lot of military rifles, and there's no good way to mount a magneto speed to an old like Mosin or
Velcro.
Garand.
Yeah.
That's it. But then you run into all sorts of different,
Yep. Yeah, I mean,
and then
there's
you
not
start messing
really.
with barrel harmonics, and
Yep.
it's,
Well, there's a way around that.
there
and,
is. For the money, I went with this one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand, but there is a way around. Let me
Mhm.
remember what the company's name was.
38 super, the 338 Super Pew said duct tape and shims. There you go, baby.
Yeah,
So
Wiser Precision.
I think I know exactly what you're talking
WISER
about.
Precision. They make a carbon fiber rod and mount that will mount up on most anything from Picatinny, M-Lock. You can, jury rig a mount to it, so it will work with
put
what
it where
you're
your
looking
cleaning
for.
rod goes.
Yeah.
Ting.
So,
Where'd your magneto speed go? Well, it's all those pieces out there. So
yeah, but there are ways to mount that. A couple of people have come up with ones like Wiser for a magneto speed. So, and on a handgun, it just don't work. Sorry,
nope.
guys.
Yeah. So Fuzzy Fork 8 said, as for the cranny, can't you fellows just stick a spent cartridge into a block of paraffin, add a primer, no powder to shoot through the cranny before you use real ammo? Might save some money. Man, it would. So Jorgen wants to know, for our ballisticians, what measured effect does rain have on a bullet's flight?
You can't
No
notice it. You can't notice it. It is so small, you can't notice it.
I would think that in order for it to be heavy enough to cause a problem, it would probably be the wind that would cause the issue more than the rain.
For water to affect it, as in raindrops, you would have to have to be something along the lines of a waterfall. Okay.
Yeah.
It has to be just about that dense. The spinning of the bullet, it doesn't touch the, the water won't stay on it. I mean, to slow it down,
Yeah.
slow, and plus the velocity going through, it doesn't. I've never seen it affect anything, either game shot with it or on the target.
Yeah, there's some Amazon's got some decent tripods in that $80 to $100 range.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I would think the sound wave ahead and behind the bullet would probably keep any rain off the bullet.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And like you
definitely
say,
possible.
short of going through a waterfall, I mean.
Right.
Yeah.
Short of going through a waterfall, it's, you're not going to see it. And we all have seen, I don't know if anybody's ever shot into water with a rifle or a pistol. What effect, did you see how the bullet moved through it? So it takes a while before the bullet starts to move away.
Yeah.
And a lot of velocity being reduced by then. So yes, Paul Loud.
Yeah, but the real question is, who's the more dense? I mean, that's the real question.
Boy. I don't know.
I'm thinking a team of scientists.
As those, if those two ever got together, oh my
They did
gosh.
once, supposedly, allegedly.
Well, the world must have ended then. I don't know.
Running with Scissors said, every time I take my cranny out, a question rings through my head. Will this be the day I shoot it and it falls over and dies? So
That's like I gotta order it. They make a screen that your front two brackets mounted in. It's basically plexiglass that covers this up for when you're shooting black powder. My fear is shooting that and this thing gets all caked up and it's just gonna be a mess.
yeah.
Why couldn't you just take saran wrap and cover the front of it?
Well, you probably could.
That makes sense. So
You buy a lot of saran wrap for what the charge of that screen.
Well, we can do
Home Depot sells plexiglass. Buy your own.
try shooting shotgun shells over it. Okay, at 40 yards.
Nope. My pattern's too big to shoot at 40 yards.
Yeah.
Slugs.
That's why they make 3/4 inch plywood, 2 sheets of it in front, and you fire one round and you get to see what the velocity is, and put the plywood in front of the.
I suppose if you're making your own goose and duck loads, you'd probably want to know that.
Well,
everything else doesn't matter.
Well, trap loads matter.
Yeah, but trap loads, you can tell trap loads are not measuring at 40 yards when they're putting the speed on. That's muzzle velocity.
We measure at 40 yards to see where you're at.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Yeah. If you're at 16 yards and the bird comes out, you're at 35 yards before you most people are even pulling the trigger.
That's just because people don't want to shoot the house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. Yeah. No, I think there's enough stuff out there now you can calculate without having to. But yeah, I understand the reason why you're using it at 40.
Yeah.
So, but wouldn't you shoot up your screens, or would you just not put the screen up?
Well, you don't put the screens up. You just put it down and
okay.
And lower everything, and not put the screens up, or put paper over the top of it, piece of cardboard.
Yeah,
that's all right.
Well, I think that about wraps it up for tonight.
We got one more.
We got one more?
Yeah. We have Epic over on...
I thought we asked that one.
No.
I thought I read that one. All right. So I have a bunch of unfired Starline brass, but need to go out and shoot. Oh, wait a minute. That doesn't. Okay, so is there part of this that's missing, Paul?
Look in the private chat. Do you see it in private chat on top?
Let me check here. No, that's the same. So it says Epic today at 5:28 p.m. So that was the time it posted. So from 1,000th to 6,000th, generally average 3,000ths or less on once fired Hornady brass. I have a bunch of unfired Starline brass, but need to go out and shoot. I think things will even out once I have some decent brass. You mentioned neck turning last time we spoke. Maybe something on neck turning. I have a rock chucker, Redding bushing dies, no mandrel with 262 neck mandrel. I use Redding and sack bushings for 6.5 Creedmoor in my Tika T3.
And he's talking about run out.
Okay.
He's thinking he's got excessive run out, but he's using He's got less than, generally average about 3 thousandths or less, but he's using Hornady brass. And Hornady brass is notorious for having being uneven in its construction.
Mm-hmm.
So he has to. If he's gonna use Hornady brass, he's gonna have to neck turn. He doesn't say if he's got a way to measure the thickness of the brass,
Mm-hmm.
but he should be able to get it where he can take it down to 13 thousandths or 14 thousandths to get um, a good even cut on the brass, and take it back far enough so um, he takes it back far enough into the shoulder so he doesn't have a donut back there to cause the bullet to run out more than what he has. And what I like to find out from him is what he gets for run out once he sizes his brass.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so do a check on your run out once it comes out of the gun, then check the run out after you've cleaned, washed, and sized the brass. Not run a mandrel through it yet, but sized it. So you've just taken it out of your sizing die. Um, then go in and run a mandrel through it, see where you're at as far as it goes. Then do your bullet seating to see where you're at the end. In other words, you're going through um, the stages of reloading, and you're trying to find out where the problem in that brass, where that run out is coming from. I have a Lee die for 308 that gives me zero run out, absolute zero. And I don't care with what case you put in it or anything else. It is
Wow.
that perfectly straight.
And it's a lead eye?
And it's a Lee die, okay? And
Wow.
it's a full length sizing die.
Holy
Okay.
crap.
I don't have any, decapping pin in or anything else. And I just, but it's set up on my one press, and I can run a 308 case through it and not a problem. As soon as I take and do with an unturned case, as soon as I put an expanding mandrel through it, goes all to hell. Because as I measure the interior of the neck, the thicknesses can go, you know, 40, 50, 60, 75 thousandths, depending upon where I measure it at. So they're all over the place. So turn the neck, get it straight and the right thickness, and then you can move on to your next stage. Next thing is your seating die. And with your seating die, you don't say how you're seating it and what kind of die it is. You have to have a good fit between the the case, the shoulder, and the seating die and the plug.
Mm-hmm.
They all have to line up. If they don't line up, you're gonna induce run out. And the biggest thing is brass. Brass is the whole key to the whole thing. You can make your own brass. I used to buy Winchester brass and have to really, really, really work it. I mean, primer pockets, sizing it, getting it the right way, turning the necks, um, checking the rim thickness to see if it was out of round anywhere, as far as when you put the case in, to how it would sit in the bolt and how it would sit in the chamber. this is all stuff that happens that we don't really look at, but it all affects how that case is going to come out of the gun. If you got it too thick on one side of that cartridge case, you have an angle, you set it up and you put a square up to it, and it ain't going to come out square, because of the thickness. So there's there are issues, and that's what he has to do. He's got to experiment to find out where he's picking it up his run out.
Mm-hmm.
Question on Tikas, because I don't own a Tika. I got a buddy that's got a 308 Tika.
No, this is a Howa.
Howa. I'm sorry, Howa. And it will chamber, it's a 308. It chambers 308 ammunition fine, but it will not chamber factory 7.62 NATO. I didn't know if Howas were that close on headspace or. And these are factory loads. That's what's odd.
And it won't fire. It won't chamber 7.62.
No, bolt will not close.
Okay. Thickness of the rim. It could be anything. I mean, without doing if he takes a fired case from that and measure it with a Hornady or Sinclair comparator, shoulder comparators, see if there's something there between the NATO and the fired case.
Okay.
See what size you're getting. See if he's got a problem with overall his case length, the ogive measurement.
That could be anything.
There's a problem there. And then the final thing is to check the measurement of the neck itself. In other words, the outside and diameter of the neck itself, to see if he's got, maybe his military is too thick.
It could be. Yeah, I haven't talked to him in a little bit. I have to check with him and see if he's got that resolved.
So 338 Super Pew wants to know, quick question. Hornady made 160 grain, 268 diameter. He likes for his two Carcanos, but they discontinued it. Anyone know of another manufacturer make a decent 268 soft point, or do I go to a 264?
So there's ways around that. PPU still makes bullets for it in 268, but those are hard to get, especially with all the Carcanos coming in the country right now. Components for that has been out for 2 years almost. I purchased from Mid-South. They get a run of them in every so often. It's a 6.5. They call it a 6.5 Swede mold, but from what I've read on the forums, it casts to about a 270. So you can size it down to 268, and you can get a Lee push-through sizer.
NOE sizer.
NOE sizer. There's all sorts of sizes you can get and cast it and then push-through sizer. And I haven't done it yet. Hopefully that's my big project for the winter, is get a lot of those casted and see how those do. I'm on Graphs right now. Graphs has 268 diameter, 139 grain FMJs. 100 of them are for about $31 right now, which ain't bad. So they're out of the soft points, but they have the full metal jackets in stock. So, but that's the only downfall about the Carcanos. They are 268 bore. So, and if you shoot 264, you're going to notice that your accuracy is way down.
And actually, if you're going to use a cast bullet, that 270 may work perfect.
And that's what we're going to try. We're going to try a couple different things this winter and see how that does. But
so, in other words, soft points are really hard to come by.
On a lot of stuff, I've noticed soft points are 8mm soft points, which I don't know why. It's hunting season. You would think they'd start producing those. A lot of 8mm hunting rounds.
It's starting
Yes,
to come back. I'm seeing
it is. It's getting better. We're not to the point we wish we would be, but the stuff is getting better. It's just the 6.5, 268 diameter stuff is hard because it's the only gun that shoots that diameter projectile. So they're only going to make a limited little run of them, and you're only going to find it for a short amount of time. And once it's gone for a while. So, but
I remember on that. You don't run a standard expander ball either, do you? I thought you bought the.
I bought a set of RCBS dies that is set for 268.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, I spent the money on the good RCBS dies. They're older dies, but they are set to 268.
All right.
And for that, especially the cavalry carbines, I've heard those are shot out pretty good. Some of them are. So I would definitely cast for that. So I think that's what yours. Yours looks good, but
We haven't shot.
we'll haven't shot it yet. So we'll try it when we get those cast.
And neck size. I mean, instead
Yeah.
of reworking that brass.
Yep.
down.
Wow, those are pricey.
What's that?
Optics and ammo. I don't even know if it's a legit site or not, but 100 of the 160 grains for 81.26.
Jeez.
Ooh.
Like I said, I don't even know if it's a legit site. It just came up with the Google search.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
But I think your best bet's going to be casting. So
I think that mold like $25 if they have it at Mid South.
Midway.
No, it's loading.
loading.
Boy, it's slow tonight.
It is. Oh my gosh. Wow. No. Don't crash on me now. Oh, then can those
What?
get on the website? Of course, Mid South shows new aluminum powder funnel kit from Frankfurt Arsenal. Special price of $25.
Nice.
Make me spend more money.
Is it searching?
It's searching. The thing's spinning.
Looks like NOE's only got 140 grain.
I think this is actually 160, if I'm not mistaken. The mold is, so it's a bigger projectile. I'll post it on the Facebook group later. I'll post it in that one comment or one.
Yeah, I'm looking at Lee to see if they've got.
Close some stuff out.
Nothing on their quick reference. Oh, there's one. 170 grain and 160 grain.
There. So it's out of stock right now. It's a 170 grain double cavity mold.
They do have 160 as well.
So,
Buy both.
yeah.
And 160 was the normal, if I remember correctly, was the normal bullet weight for the Carcano.
Titan doesn't stock that.
Well, it's a custom,
It's a
special edition, special order mold is what it is.
Okay.
So
Lee listed in their regular molds.
really, they must have added it.
So.
Ooh, I didn't know they made the 215.
So now I'm on Titan. The molds.
Ray, what was the velocity of the Carcano?
Ooh, I don't know. Do you know? It's not in here, is it?
Hang on, I can tell you. So mil spec velocity, you're looking around for the 162 grain, 2,300 feet per second. Well, they had two different loadings of it. One's 2,300 feet per second. One's 2,100 feet per second. I know the same bullet, so I don't know why there was difference. So, who knows?
Probably change the powder from one to the other.
That probably is. But yes, you're looking, say, 2,250, 2,100, or 20. Yeah, 2,200. You're right in the middle there. So,
Titan does not list it on their site,
Okay.
but like I said, Lee does, and they actually say you can add them to cart. So
yeah, according to Wikipedia, the bullet diameter is a .267, but 268 is what most of the companies that sell the projectiles sell them that. That's like 7.5 Moss is a 307.
307.
So it's your 1,000th of an inch ain't gonna matter that much.
Well, that's like the Sierra 3030 bullets that used to be 307.
Yeah. Their carbine bullets are like a 306.5, or I don't remember exactly.
I've
what
seen
it is.
309 carbine
Yeah,
bullets.
they're all over the place on those.
yeah,
So
Yeah, and Paul Loud, that was a Lee mold, is what that was. But it looks like you also said, yeah, there's that 260. I've seen that Lyman mold. That's a pretty good mold.
yeah. So
there's nothing hard about a gain twist in a barrel. That's been around a long time.
Yeah.
So
just got to push it faster.
Yeah. And they've never had issues with the gain. It's not like it was there for a little bit and they had issues, but it's always been there and never really had any problems with it.
Yep.
But yeah, the 6.5 can is cool little round, but it just there's not much out there for it really.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely the redheaded stepchild of the Milsurp world.
Well, what's even worse is the 7.35 Carcano.
Right.
Try reloading that. That's almost impossible to reload for right now.
Don't have one of those.
If we could find it, would be cool, but reloading is impossible.
Yep.
you need a lathe, Nick, so you can turn your
Lathe.
own cases.
Trust me, a lathe, a mill.
We would
I'd be
want it.
happy.
We'd have it all if we could. We had the space for it. We've already talked about this. If
I'd
we
love
had,
to find a small tabletop, or a grizzly gunsmithing lathe or something like that.
Well, the grizzly gunsmithing lathes aren't small, okay?
No, they're not small, but
because they have to be stiff enough to handle everything. But tabletop lathes, they're around all over the place. You can buy those for under $1,000.
yeah, we bid on one once. It just
man, I remember that.
oh yeah, we bid on one.
We've been on so much.
We've
I
been
don't
on
remember.
everything.
I don't remember what we bid on last week.
Ooh, there's something fun. So I'm at Primary Arms and EOTech Bino NVC auto gated compact night vision for $12,279.
Hey, buy two.
That's right.
Make it a third.
One is none, two is one.
That's right. If you're buying a Primary Arms optic, code FRN gets you a cleaning kit. So Primary Arms right now, they got their Labor Day sale. So swing over, check them out. Always got some good stuff on sale, and usually got some good stuff in clearance too. So they carry everything, including firearms, cans, parts. So great place to go if you're looking to build a AR or an AK for that matter. So swing over to Patriot Patch Company. Check out their patches of the month. They've got 2. Moon's out, goons out. Sun's out, guns out. So, Tiki Warriors keeping with their summer theme for August. So
September is coming soon, guys.
yeah, I saw that one. That looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Got the email
That's
today on that,
wonderful.
so that looks pretty good. But that's patriotpatch.co. Not only do they have patches, they've got all sorts of fun other stuff too. But swing over, check them out. Jake and Ryan make some awesome stuff there. Valid point running with scissors. So 136, 1 hour 36 minutes. If you're checking the chat, you'll see a comment from Running with Scissors. Pretty much spot on. So
Did you get 2 patches or 3, Mike?
I got 2.
Oh, then I must have got an accidental slip. I thought this one was pretty cool.
Tack driver?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Reminds me of the Budweiser. Is that Budweiser labeled? Or Miller? Yeah.
No, Budweiser. So they had a couple summers ago, and then they brought them back last summer. They had a beer patch style stuff. They did most of the major brands. So, and it's perfectly legal because you are able to take, if you're using it for parody purposes, which is what they are. They're parodies of beer brands. So there's a lot of, if you notice, a lot of Christian t-shirts and stuff like that use a lot of the standard stuff too. So anyway, so yep, that's about all I got for now. Anybody got any shout outs?
I got one quick one. So was it last week? Might have been last week or the week before. I watched a gentleman named Chris from the 704, another younger, smaller YouTube channel. He had a gentleman from the channel Reloading from the Hot Pot reached 3,000 subscribers a couple weeks ago, and he gave away a couple of these challenge coins. I was fortunate enough to win one, and
Nice.
good little channel. Go check him out.
Cute.
So
Nice.
Pretty
I'm
cool.
waiting for the Milsurp Duo to get some challenge.
Well, I didn't know that there was a company out there that made them, and so I'm going to reach out to the company that made this and see.
When we reach 3,000 subscribers,
We're a long way from that. I
just get them pre-made.
I just want to get an idea what something like this is costing, just to have an idea out there. So
at least $1 a piece, I would think.
No, I think they're a little more than that.
Yeah, at
Probably
least.
are.
Yeah. I got a shout out. Kudos to the guy that spent $900,000 on the Star Wars Han Solo blaster. That's the ultimate Star Wars fan.
Yep. Hey, if you got the money to blow.
I think it was $1.2 million after premium and everything, taxes. It was just so. But it was. We watched it live. I thought it was going to go north of $1 million, but it stalled out there right about 900,000. But so, and it got national headlines. It got actually world headlines. Yeah. I think they said a newspaper in Denmark picked up an article on it.
It was at
Comic-Con in San Diego. It went national.
So this was the actual one from
the
which
only
movie?
one. A New Hope. Yeah, A New Hope. They figured that out, and that's the only one known remaining. So.
GGW Reloading said the YouTube channel it's Chris from the 740.
Yep, what did I say? 704.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have so many numbers in my head right now from today.
So
Chris Sharp. Yeah, I bought that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could sell every gun I own, double the price, and still wouldn't come close.
And what did it? It was Wild Bill Hickok Smith Wesson #2 came for I think 250,000.
230 some of
So that was still insane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, anybody close to Rock Island, Illinois, if you've never been to the Rock
Or
Island
Quad
auction,
Cities.
Quad Cities area, I suggest you go. It's even if you don't plan on buying anything, you get to walk through the library, hand all the guns that are going to be auctioned off that day, look at them, then you go in and watch people to bid. It's quite the show if you've never been to one.
Duct tape your hands into your pockets.
Oh yeah, it's
Well, they give you a little sign to
yeah.
Yeah,
well, they
if you're
give
not
you
going to
the-
bid, you can just walk right through the bidding area and go look. But
yeah.
we've both bought stuff from them. They don't sell junk, put it that way.
no.
All the stuff that you get from them is good quality.
I've honestly had some people that have brought in stuff to us to buy, and I'm like, no, you need to take this to Rock Island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, what's that? So then you sit down and explain it to them and show them the website and show them some stuff. Yeah. No.
Yeah. If
We've
anybody
had-
hasn't, yeah, go ahead and finish, Mike.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've had some stuff that came in that, yeah, that's where it needed to go.
They've had one of the most expensive firearms sale ever, their last premier auction. And it was Ulysses S. Grant's commemorative set pistols, revolvers, $5.2 million. And they were absolutely immaculate. 95%. It was just,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
it's a kid in a candy store for us.
Oh, it's like
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's fun to look even on the website.
yeah.
it is.
So
And we get phone calls from like on
Oh yeah, they call
a
us.
monthly basis.
nice.
Here, come spend more money.
Yeah, come spend more money with us. But hey, I'm glad they know.
They know, and we've actually talked to one of the biggest gun YouTubers in the world there.
Oh yeah, you get to meet a lot of the big YouTubers. There, Ian's there all the time.
Yeah, Ian helps them out a lot.
Yeah, we talked to him for about 45 minutes one time up there, and
Tom from Legacy
Tom
Collectibles
from-
goes.
yep.
A lot of the big guys are there.
I got a question.
yes,
Who's Ian?
you don't know who Gun Jesus is?
You know Gun Jesus?
I mean, why are y'all surprised I don't know who somebody or something
Oh,
is?
Look up Forgotten Weapons.
Forgotten Weapons. Yeah.
He
Forgotten
does.
weapons.
Yeah, he does basically military or older guns, even stuff that's kind of abandoned from modern stuff, but
Okay.
still very educational. He knows his stuff.
Okay.
A lot of history.
A lot of history. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And also look up and on YouTube, look up Gun Jesus.
Yep.
Okay.
Jesus.
There's a lot of
Is it
videos.
spelled
On that.
Gun Jesus, the normal traditional
Mhm.
Jesus
Yes.
way? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, just Gun Jesus, and then and listen to him, and you'll understand.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then you will get rid of your Glocks and your Smith and Wesson M&Ps and your
Oh, no,
staple
I-
guns.
I ain't getting rid of nothing. I may
No,
acquire
no.
some different things.
You know?
Nick's one. Nick's
That is the
wanting-
correct answer.
Nick's wanting to get rid of the first shotgun I ever bought him, a little single shot 20 gauge. And I said, "Why?
I
Keep it."
shot 2 rounds through it ever.
You're supposed to give that to you and Candy's future kids.
That's right.
I hate it because it kicked like a MFer and
It does kill.
Probably doesn't
Well,
now.
I mean, maybe your kids will be a little bit tougher than you are, Nick.
Ah!
I'm messing with you, Nick. I'm messing with you.
Comedy.
Supposed to keep that.
it's a little
Yep, yep.
hair. It's a little. I don't even know what brand. It's a $130 shotgun. It's
New
not.
England Arms.
Yeah, New England Arms, a little partner. It's nothing expensive.
Those things
So
are. Yeah.
it's tradition. It's passed on,
Yeah.
father to son.
No, well, it wasn't even his. He bought it from me.
Well,
That's
yeah.
the point.
Look,
Yeah.
what's that? What's
starts
that?
somewhere.
The old people say that's that whippersnapper stuff.
Now my 1022 he bought me. That will never leave. That will get handed down.
See, I sold or traded the first pistol my dad ever
That
bought
was a
me,
mistake.
and I regret it every day.
That was a mistake.
Hey, look at. I have a daughter who raided my gun cabinet once to steal my stainless steel 380 Mustang. Okay,
Oh,
Mm.
all right. I'm sitting there going. I paid what was it? Almost $600 for the damn thing at the time, and she stole it on me.
But did she really?
Really?
Well, I do reload for her,
Did she give you the dad, daughter, I love you,
You
don't
see,
you love
you see
me
this?
face?
Okay,
Yeah.
that's me. Being wrapped around her little finger. All right.
Well,
Exactly.
after this podcast, Paul's gonna have the ATF knocking on his door. How come you didn't report he stole the firearm?
So
Uh,
I guess
Yeah,
we better get going so he's got a running start.
Yeah.
Oh heck, he's not even home. Who cares?
that's right.
The wife will get the knock.
I'll be glad when my minions get old enough for me to start passing stuff down to them. I got a long ways to go.
Mhm.
My nephew he'll be 3. He is 3 this year, and I already got him ready for 22. He's got everything but a sling.
So my grandnephews, I already told both their mothers, my nieces, that when my grandnephews turn 2, they will be getting BB guns. It's not up for discussion. It's not up for debate. It's a fact. It's going to happen. So
Yeah. Well, I did mine backwards. I told my sister, I was like, "Hey, ask my
no.
nephew's
See, that was your
dad."
mistake.
No, well, I didn't want to be stepping on boundaries because this is their first son, and the minute he was like, "Oh, Auntie, want to go right ahead," he's probably like, "Yes, bring it on."
You start them off with Nerf guns and you teach gun safety from there, and it just evolves.
Oh, yep.
Yep.
Paul Loud. Yes, I reload for the 380 still for her, and I set up my CNH Mark III to reload for it because it's faster. So yeah,
Yeah. Sharp said it. Sharp said it best. She tactically acquired it.
yeah.
So. Anyway. All right, gang. Just thanks again to everybody that tunes in, sends us emails, reloadingpodcast@gmail.com. Catches us on social media. We're on Facebook, MeWe. I don't know how much longer because MeWe's gone woke.
Oh,
And Discord and Instagram.
Patreon.
Yeah, Patreons. If you want to send us money, Patreons how you sponsor us. I haven't really been pushing that because we're still behind on audio. We're trying to get that caught up. So,
But still, it makes it easier for us.
yep. So,
Tune in.
true. Because I'd like to just get it to where I could pay somebody to edit, but
Right.
well, if I
anyway,
win the lotto, which I need to
if I
buy a
if I
ticket.
win the lotto, yeah, if I win the lotto, it's gonna be awesome. So, have one big, huge reloading podcast compound.
Before you open it to the reloading public, we just need to go have us like a little 2-3 week
That's right.
reload and shooting vacation.
That's right. So, oh, that's awesome, Paul. Loud and Sharp are still taking shots at each other. Sometimes it's worth it just for that. So, all right, gang. Yeah, just thanks to everybody that's a Patreon and has hung with us. Thanks to Primary Arms and Patriot Patch Company for being sponsors. And on that note, keep your brass shiny.
Jump on the mill short bus.
Teach them shoot and reload when they're young.
Teach a lady how to reload and then let her dip out your stash just a little bit. Make sure it's fresh for you to use. I can come up with more BS.
I'm not wearing hip waders. Knock it off.
Grandpa told me, don't listen to my mama. Violence does solve problems.
Sometimes you just need to carefully apply C4. Liberally.
In the words of Jim, support the Second Amendment and Not necessarily the NRA, but whoever, any
Yep.
2A organization, show them your support.
I will honestly come out and say at this point in time, do not support the NRA until Wayne LaPierre and his group are gone.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that it still exists when New York's finally done with them.
Yeah. Put
So-
Coyan in charge.
Yep. But yeah, there's lots of good 2A groups. So Jim's off at a family thing this evening. So
And he won't make it next week either.
no.
He's slacking.
Yeah.
Well, next
Yeah.
week they're having a big cookout at the Sandley Gun Club. So
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Road
he's
trip to
playing
North
us for
Carolina.
steak. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's dumping us for steak.
road trip to North Carolina. We'll all show up there, do the show from
Yeah.
there. Yeah, right.
Well, that'd be
Why work
great.
it-
Live. Can you imagine doing it live from the gun club?
Next
Oh,
week,
wow.
Tuesday, is the first day of school. My work would kill me.
Ah,
Anyway. All right, gang. If you're struggling, remember there's help out there. Good old number is 1-800-273-8255. Otherwise, the short number is 988. If you need the help, reach out, grab it. So it's a sign of strength to reach out and grab help. Thanks, everyone.
Good night.
good night, everyone.